What's going on, you two? Um, Mighty fan here, and yeah, I mean, we all know today was a very surreal, difficult day. Obviously, Kobe Bryant passed away tragically. A helicopter crash in California with his eldest daughter. Um, it's just heartbreaking. Just shocking, heartbreaking, every emotion that you can think of. Um, um, I watched a lot of things today on TV. Obviously, it's just weird. It was a weird day. Um, Earlier in the day, I went to go see Bad Boys for Life, and it was almost like it was kind of meant to be how it happened because I get to the theater and there's an employee outside of it stopping people from going. Said we had a fire alarm in here not long ago, and just for precautionary reasons, we're not showing movies right now. We're gonna continue the schedule later in the evening. And this is like 1 o'clock Eastern time. So I say, okay, well there goes that idea for what I wanted to do today. So the theater's a little ways away from here, so it's not like I wanted to go back in the evening. So I said, all right, let me just you know I'll just do a Target run and then head back home, pick up a few things from Target, head back home. So that's what I did. I get back home, and this is about maybe an hour and a half, whatever later from that point. I get back home. I'm down in Man Cave, and I have NFL Network on because I just have it on in the background. I'm doing some stuff on the phone, and it's just the Super Bowl highlights, from previous years. They're doing one of their marathons, the weekend before the Super Bowl, so that's usually what they have on. And I'm just not, it's just there. It's like background, and I get a text from my boss, and he's like, "Did you hear about Kobe?" And I replied to him because remember last night LeBron passed Kobe for third all time in the scoring, for all time NBA scoring, and so I'm like, "Yeah, LeBron passed him last night for third place," and he's like, "Yeah, well that and he said Kobe died." A helicopter crash. And I'm thinking, I'm like, Kobe died. Because at this point, the news really hadn't broken out widespread. It's not like they were even breaking into any program. So then, obviously, I'm like, going on the phone, going different places. I'm flipping different channels, NBA Network, ESPN, and no one's really doing much, at that point. And then all of a sudden, maybe within a minute or so, the phone starts, going off, ESPN alerts and different stuff. And it was, Kobe died dead at age 41. And obviously it's just, wow. A few minutes later, my buddy Big Slim calls me. We're talking about it. It's just surreal. Can't even imagine. Whether you know this or don't know this, I was in high school with Kobe for a year when I was at Lower Merion. It was the 93-94 school year. Then I moved on from there. I went to a private school after that, but I was there for a year with him, and I didn't know him. He wouldn't have known me from, a locker passing by or whatever in the school. I may have passed him in the hallways here and there. I really don't know. I do know I used to play basketball at one of the local parks here, South Ardmore Park, with some of his friends. But Kobe, no. And I can't profess I knew the man, but I was there with him, at Lower Merion. And also the fact we're the same age. Well, he passed at 41, I'm 41. We were also born a few days apart from each other, which I always thought was, that was kind of, cool to be able to say that, right? I'm August 21st, he's August 23rd. So, hey, see, good people were born the same that same week, and that span. how many, 48 hours or whatever it was from each other. But I didn't know him. But at the same time, obviously, a Kobe fan, for those years. And my first ever favorite athlete was Michael Jordan. Um, he was the first athlete that I really kind of latched onto and watched all the games, every chance I get. When the Bulls were on and whatnot, it was all about MJ back then. So, yeah, but then, Kobe was there. Kobe and Iverson, obviously, you know, got right up the pecking order as well. Um, and Kobe, I always felt that more of kind of that, of all the players that I've ever liked, that I've ever watched, that I've ever, as a jersey collector, as a jersey head, I've all the jerseys of, Kobe was the one player that I could ever say, well, I went to high school with him, and the fact that we were born a couple days apart, the same age, everything, and he's from my neighborhood at Ardmore, and the whole bit that goes with that. He's the only player that I could ever say that about. So I did feel that kind of connection there. I couldn't say that about Jordan. I couldn't say that about Iverson or LeBron or any of these guys. But Kobe, I could say that about. Um, and I just I'm really not one of those people to go and um, you know memorialize and stuff like this. There are players there are people obviously in my life who have passed on, and it's a very difficult thing. I've always, I've said the story times in the past, and if you don't know it, I had a friend years ago, a very dear friend of mine, who passed away suddenly, and his name was Paul, and Paul was a die-hard Laker fan. I mean, die-hard. He was older than me, so he grew up with the he was more grew up in the Lake Show days, of course, with Magic and them. He was a big Magic Johnson fan, but he loved the Lakers, and he loved Shaq, and he loved Kobe. And it would even be whenever we played basketball, either it was on a regular basketball, regular hoop or a Nerf hoop. Oh, we had some battles with that Nerf hoop. he would wear his Lakers stuff, and I would wear my Sixers stuff. So I would wear my Iverson jersey, and he would have his Kobe jersey on. And we would have the Sixer Laker battles. And when he passed, at that time, I said, okay, well, I believe it was in '05, if I'm not mistaken. I said, well, I'm going to adopt the Lakers as my Western Conference team in honor of Paul. But I also wanted to do it in honor of Kobe as well. Kobe was obviously still playing at the time. And again, the fact that he, had the Ardmore root ties and the Lower Merion and, everything. And, so I said, okay, well, I'm going to, for Paul mainly, but also for Kobe. The only time I don't root for the Lakers is when they play the Sixers. So last night I was rooting for the Sixers, and of course, back in the day, to the '01 finals, which was the only finals that I could really see the two play each other. Sixers all the way, and of course, if they ever play in the finals again, which is a possibility. I'll root for the Sixers, of course, because that's my home team. That's the home team. That's where my heart is. So, but it other than that, it's Lakers, and it is. It's probably one of the. It is because it's just a sudden thing. This was not old age or any disease or anything like that. It's just helicopter crash. It really it hits you. It does. I mean, he was a great player, but he was going on to do some really great things after his career. He wanted to do so much for kids because he felt that they were the next generation. He was writing books. He won an Oscar for the program he put together. for so he was, excuse me, he was doing some just great things in life, and he had this plan, and his daughter, of course, was going to be at some point a WNBA player and take on the legacy, of him there, and uh, it really is tough, and I do feel a connection with him. But as I was saying, I'm not one of those to really do a whole, feel, the more memorializing and stuff like that. But I'm sitting down there, and there's all this. Obviously, they're having many different former players, current, analysts, and former, whoever, all these different people, come in with their stories and their thoughts. Obviously, it was hard to because it's just one of those things that you're just not. It's a very difficult situation to have to go on air and talk about something right there. It's but I'm sitting there and I'm going, you know what? I kind of feel like I want to go to Laura Marion. Um, and I don't know it, and I didn't know anything was going on over there. I'm like, I kind of want to just go there and maybe just in a way that's kind of a way to collect the thoughts, to pay homage. Obviously, I'm not in the California area. I see all these. I saw on the TV they showed the Staples Center and people going there in droves, and it felt like I wanted to go somewhere. And since I can't go to the Staples Center, I want to go to Lower Merion. And I didn't even realize this. Then I started watching the local news, and they're showing these the scenes of the memorial that was being made there outside Bryant Gymnasium, and the people were going there, and they were, there was a candlelight vigil, and the people with flowers and jerseys and basketballs all lined up, and I'm like, well, I've wanted to do it. Let me just go and do it. And I went to local Giant, grocery store, got a thing of yellow flowers, and went over there, and I don't know really what the driving thing was, other than it was just a feel. Um, and I went there wearing the jersey, and this is the Lower Merion High School, the Aces, that's their name, the hat, and I put the flowers down, and was there with the other people, and just silent, no one really talking to each other, just kind of there, and it was just such a surreal thing, and anyone who's been things like this, it's just really you don't really know how to explain it. It's just something drives you to do that. It's emotion. It's the memories. It all just comes flooding out, and it just felt like the right thing to do. Um, it's but condolences go out to the Bryant family. They probably will never see this video. I'm not really a big YouTube vlogger here, but condolences and thoughts and prayers go out to them. I do want to say and like I said, I'm more of a Sixers fan, but the Lakers nation, I'm there with you. I feel, it's a very sad thing. Um, it's just such a sudden, event. But I know how much he meant to Lakers Nation. And to say that a guy who came from my hometown went out there to Hollywood and did all the great things that he did there and became one of the greatest players ever to play, it's a humbling thing. It really is. And I'm glad that he was able to represent my hometown, my area, as well as he did, and to really kind of bring a piece of that there with him. You know, that loyalty that he had, staying a Laker throughout his whole career. You know, there's some Philadelphia in that. You know, there's some. You know, there is some of that because the people here, a lot of people who grow up in the Philly area or the outside suburbs, we stay here. You know, if unless we absolutely have to move. You know, this is an area that a lot of us never leave. Um, it's like it is a loyalty to it. It's a connection. It's a bond. You know, we're very loyal to the area. We don't want to move. We don't want to, be someplace else. And so the fact that Kobe remained a Laker his whole career is not surprising to me. You know, that fire, that passion, that's the Philly fire and passion. You know, that's he was a one of a kind. Absolutely, that drive that he had, it's very rare to see that in an athlete. And the way he did it is just something that he could do. You know, as the way Jordan did it. You know, the way LeBron's doing it now. There's just certain players have it and they do it their way. And obviously, Kobe had the Mamba mentality, right? That was his thing. That was developed. I always say this about Kobe. He was a great player. Even in those years when the Lakers were a dynasty with Shaq and company and Phil Jackson and all that, winning the 3 titles that they did, including one against the Sixers. But yes, the 3 titles. But I was more impressed with Kobe when Shaq went to the Heat. And Kobe was able to really just evolve even more into the great player that he became. You know, he took that team. He won 2 more titles with that team. The 81 points against the Raptors. And everything that went there. And he wanted to win so badly. And he wanted to prove that he could do it so badly. And that he did it. It was like this, he's at the mountaintop. He reached it. It takes that type of drive. And he had it, and he had it in spades. There's a lot of great players out there. And there's going to be players, look, records are meant to be broken, records fall. LeBron passed him last night for 3rd place in all-time scoring. There'll be other players that pass him. There are going to be players that are probably going to win more than 5 titles in their careers. But there's only one Kobe. And there was only one Mamba out there. There's only one Mamba. There's only one Kobe. What he did is what he did. It can't be done again. Because he did it his way. And he was special. He was a special, special talent. And we saw that here when he was at Lower Merion. Because he had that drive here. Winning that state title meant so much to him. Meant so much to him, and you knew he was going to do great things in the NBA. Now did we see him being like that, like what he became at the end when all was said and done? Probably not. You can't really expect that what he did, but we knew he was going to be a great player, and he overexceeded that. He certainly went from being a great player to one of the greatest. So, there is something to be said about that, and that's a testament to his dedication and working on his craft. Here in Philly, we complain about Ben Simmons not wanting to shoot. I see things in Ben though that look, there's some good qualities there. There's some fire in him, but it's just the things that he needs to improve on. Will he ever do it? Well, there were things that Kobe needed to improve on, and he did it. And boy, did he do it. He wasn't a great shooter when he came in the league, but he worked on it. He became a great shooter, a great scorer. He was a great finisher, but he became not only a great finisher, but a great scorer. to score in every variety of ways possible: shooting, driving, um, drawing the fouls, making the free throws. He was able to do it. He was also a diehard Eagles fan, and I am happy that that special moment that we had as Eagles fans winning Super Bowl 52, that Kobe was able to see that. It is a very untimely death, and I'm not trying to make light of that or any way by saying this, but I'm glad he was able to see that because it is something that Eagle fans had waited so long for, and when we got it, it was so special, and I know it was special for him. I remember that video of him holding his young daughter there, and it shows how great of a father he was because he couldn't really cheer the way he really wanted to because she was asleep in his arm, and he's just walking back and forth with the fist pumps. But yeah, you can tell that Super Bowl meant a lot to him, and it was cool that he put out that video with his tempered celebration of the Eagles winning because he couldn't get too vocal about it because he had the sleeping young daughter in his arms. Listen, he was a great human being and obviously a just tremendous player. I know there was talk about what if the NBA ever gets another logo, for the Jerry West logo, who the silhouette should be, and Michael Jordan obviously comes up, the Air Jordan logo, the Jumpman logo, I should say that should be the new NBA logo, and look, if they do it, rightfully so. Jordan transcended the NBA, but if there was another player that I think fit, if there's a logo to be made that absolutely this player embodied what the sport was, what it takes to be a great athlete. Obviously Jordan, but Kobe. So if it's the little fadeaway jump of Kobe, the silhouette of Kobe doing that, as if they ever make that into the new NBA logo, I think it would be very welcome for that, because Kobe did embody what 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 an NBA player should be. What an athlete should be. That perseverance, that drive, that devotion to it. And Jordan did it too, absolutely. And look, as I said, Jordan was number one for me. So if they ever make the Jumpman logo, the NBA logo, I'll be fine for that. But if they ever decide to go with Kobe, the silhouette of the NBA, for the logo as Kobe, I'd be perfectly fine with that too. And I think it would be a welcome, thing, because Kobe is worldwide known. Obviously Jordan, but Kobe's worldwide known. And like Jordan, a lot of players came in the league because of Kobe. I mean, Kobe came in the league because of Jordan, but a lot of players came in the league because of Kobe. And he meant a lot to all these young players. You see all the emotions today, and the players out there. I mean, you see Trey Burke out there wearing Trey Burke. I got the Sixer fan in me, right? Trey Young, of course, with the Hawks wearing that number 8 today. I thought that was so great, him doing that, and all the teams doing the 24 shot clock violations to start that or 8-second inbounds or whatever it was that they were doing in honor of Kobe. It's awesome, and I know you're going to see it all around. The Sixers' next game is Tuesday night against the Warriors. I'm sure they'll be doing stuff. I mean, like, this was his hometown for a while, so I'm sure they're going to be doing some poignant things in that game. Obviously, the next Laker game is that night too, I believe, against the Clippers. I'm watching. Usually I don't stay up too late for the late games on work nights, but I'm going to tune in for that one because that's going to be a special game to want to watch. That emotion, and what that's going to be. I can only imagine, and there won't be a dry eye in the place. I didn't want to make this too long a video, but I want to close with this. I know we have a lot of vloggers here on YouTube who are, diehard Laker fans. I know, like I said, in the Jersey Heads community, we have a lot of Laker fans. and to all of you, you know, I'm glad that a guy from Ardmore was able to mean so much for your franchise and for you. Um, it means something to me that was able to happen. Um, you know, um, I know it's a tough day for all of us, and whether you're a diehard Laker fan or a fan of other teams or whatever, everyone knew Kobe. And what makes it tough is just knowing how much more he had there to give in life. But I know that there's going to be a lot given in death. His 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 dreams of what he wanted for the youth. I know that's going to be carried on. Just the fact when you see players come in the league wearing number 8, wearing number 24, that's the Kobe Bryant effect. That's the Mamba mentality. For those players who have that drive in them to be great, I know you make a lot of money in the NBA, and I know there's a lot of fame that goes with it too, but there's that drive that players have to have. And for the players who have that, that's the Mamba mentality. Um, as we all know, people of my age and whatnot, we grew up with Jordan, and it was all about, his airness and what he brought to the game. Well, and, younger generations had Kobe, and now they have LeBron. That's their Jordan, So I can only imagine the feelings, the emotions that are going today with the passing of Kobe, with the younger generations. I mean, it's tough for me. And partly because I do feel that connection with him because of him in my hometown and Lower Merion and whatever, same age, same birth month, and all the everything. But like I said, um, it's a tough day. It's sorrow now, but it will be celebration. And let's not forget all the great things that he accomplished, not just on the hardwood, but in life. What he wanted to do with his life moving on to try to help other people. Uh, uh, it takes a certain special, mentality to do that. And maybe that's the Mamba mentality as well. Because he brought the Mamba mentality to writing books and to doing things in Hollywood with winning an Oscar, for goodness sakes. I don't know how many NBA players could say they also won an Oscar. That's pretty incredible. But Kobe did it. And as he always did it, he did it his way. Um, and like I said, I'm glad that a guy from Ardmore was able to do as well as he did. It's a humbling thing. It really is. But like I said, hey, you know what? To Lakers Nation out there, I know it hurts. I know it's tough. But remember who he was, and try to have those memories of those great moments, help you through the time, help us all through the time. Um, it's pain, it's hurt, it's not going to go away anytime soon, but, let's be happy that, he was able to be in our lives for the time he was. Um, like I said, all the Laker vloggers out there. I know I'm not one. I'm an Eagles vlogger. There's a Kobe connection there. um, but I know how passionate you all are for the purple and gold, and I know how much it means to you, the history, the success, and those great players that your franchise has been able to have for many years. And Kobe is certainly one of them. And to all of you out there, embrace the Mamba mentality. Embrace that. And live your lives as best you can. Whatever it is that you do, make sure that you do it as great as you can. Greater than great. Make an impact. Whether it's just making videos here on YouTube, or whether you're doing your everyday life work, make an impact. Go above and beyond what it is that you have to do to give you success and to give your family success. Achieve to be the greatest that you can be, and to make other people around you as great as they can be. That's what it is. It's a hard thing, and it takes time, it takes effort, but go out there and do those great things. And you do that, that's the Mamba mentality. And we all have the ability to do some great things in our lives, and to make our lives as great as possible, and to cherish it. The Mamba mentality could be something just as being the best father or the best mother that you can be. The best brother or the best sister that you can be. For me, I'm an only child. And I don't have a significant other. But just to live my life as best as I can. To achieve to be even better, and in certain aspects. Maybe in my workplace. Maybe to bring better quality in these videos. I don't know. Maybe to achieve to make shorter videos. But reach for it. Reach for that greatness. And that will be the legacy of Kobe. That's that legacy. Like I said, that's that Mamba mentality. But I am humbled, as I said before, that a man from my neighborhood, my area, in this big globe here that we have of Earth, was able to go and represent your team as well as he did. And for him to become such a beloved person in your community, in your Lakers nation, it's a humbling thing. It really is. My heart's with the Sixers, and it will always be with the Sixers. I hope to see a championship someday, or a few championships someday over these years. But if they're not playing the Sixers, I will root for the Lakers. And if people, give me guff on it, hey, I have reason. My good buddy Paul and Kobe, who are both up there now together, they will always be the reasons that I don the purple and gold. They'll always be the reasons that I don the purple and gold. And I will always, always, always proudly wear my number 8 or number 24 Kobe jerseys, because of what he meant as an NBA player, but what he meant in this community as well. And it's something that I'll always be able to cherish. And so, like I said, I will definitely don these jerseys proudly for many years. I might not wear them when they play the Sixers, but you might excuse me on that. But other than that, I will certainly be proud. And look, if anyone's going to the Sixers game this Tuesday night and you choose to wear an 8 or 24 Kobe jersey, go right ahead. I know that the Lakers and Sixers are a rival. I understand that. I get it. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong in wearing a legend, and he's a local legend. So look, if you're going to the game this Tuesday night against Golden State, feel free to don that number 8 or 24 at the game and show that respect and show that homage to the great Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bean Bryant. who passed away way too young, with so much to give left in his life, and it's such a shame. And of course, his eldest daughter as well. It really is a tragedy today. But it again, it's a lesson of how precious life is, and we all have to live it as best we can. So to you guys out there, Laker Sparrow, Dead Red Ghost, Pistol. There's so many Laker fans out there to name, but to all of you here on YouTube, look, from this one guy in Ardmore here, mighty fan, I'm there with you. I'm there with you in sorrow for the unfortunate passing of Kobe. And thank you all for watching, and that's gonna do it for me for now. Bye.